Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman. Thank you for tuning in this episode of The Real, taking time out of your day to come watch this episode. I really appreciate that. If you haven't subscribed already, please subscribe for me. I'd really appreciate that as well. That's the best way you can support this channel and help me grow my content and grow this channel to where I'd like it to be. Everybody hit the like button for me on the way in on this video today. That also helps promote this video more in the algorithms, helps grow this channel more as well. Please share this content. I would really appreciate that. My guests would as well. If you would please share this episode with someone you know that maybe is interested in the topic we're talking about today. Please leave a comment below as well. We'd love to hear your guys' feedback. You can interact with myself and the guest on the panel and the live chat as well. Whatever we're talking about, just leave a comment there in the live chat. Pop in and say hello. We'll put it on the screen for you. And yeah, without further ado, let's get to the show. Well, yeah, I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's our new little intro. But
I love it. I absolutely love it.
Welcome to The Real with Joseph Labman. I am Joseph Labman, my main man, Mike Antonace. Mike, what's happening?
I am Mike Antonace, and yeah, not a lot's happening. We're a day after the Eclipse, and we weren't raptured yet, unfortunately. So,
what'd you think of that yesterday, the Eclipse?
It was actually, I was kind of making fun of it at first because I was like, the sun's just gonna go away. But like when it was like fully covered, stepped out of the store to take a look at it. Not gonna lie, it was actually really cool. It was a cool thing to see. I don't think I had actually like paid attention to one or looked at one until yesterday. And it was, it was pretty dope.
You hear about people saying how crazy it is, and people drive it in here and all over the country to see it and all this. I'm kind of like you. Beforehand, I was kind of like, yeah, it's gonna be cool to see, but I don't know why people are like getting all hyped up and all that. And then you see it,
yeah,
and it happens, and you're kind of like, that's maybe the most beautiful thing I've ever seen.
Oh yeah, it was gorgeous.
I mean, it was. I got this from my house right in my backyard. I got that right as it went by.
I tried to get a picture of it on my phone, and it just looked. All you could see is the brightness of the sun.
I got that one. It looked better. I posted on my Facebook and stuff, but it was the craziest thing I ever seen. It was such a cool day. I'm really fortunate that we lived here. It happened here. That's a once in a lifetime. It really is a once in a lifetime thing.
Yeah, once every 200 years is the full solar eclipse, I think.
Yeah, I think the next one's not to like 2040 something. It's gonna go from like Oregon all the way down to Florida or something like that way.
Oh, that's what it is.
That was the craziest thing that I've ever seen. One of the most beautiful things I've ever seen. I know you and I are both believers. That to me, that showed God's how perfect God is. Like man can never come up with that. What we saw yesterday. So that was really cool. It was really cool too to see everybody outside all in one moment. Like everybody, as soon as it happened, all I hear is people cheering and stuff, and everybody was.
I heard people cheering too.
Yeah, people were cheering.
I was like, it's like a.
It was really cool. It was really cool to sit and watch that, and glad I got to see it. So now everybody could say they saw that in their lifetime. So we could say that. But next up for me, I want to see a tornado. I know you're not into that. I'm in the tornado stuff like that, storm chasing. I know Mike's.
I'm not.
Your cup of tea, but that'd be my next one. I'd like to see.
Scared the hell out of me.
I want to see one out like a field, like a nice one, not hurting anybody or anything. Just to watch it. I think it'd be kind of cool. But that was the eclipse yesterday, Mike. Go ahead and take it away, Mike. What we got today?
Got a couple of things. Obviously, we're gonna talk a little Browns. Gonna talk a little. Well, Joseph is gonna talk a little NBA and a little Ohio State because your boy has been unplugged as far as the NBA concerns. I'm out. The Cavs have been a miserable train wreck for the past 4 weeks, and I have not been plugged in. JB needs fired. I don't know.
So I don't know. It's just like actually, I want to start. We'll go to the NBA playoffs. I want to ask you though, what do you think about JB?
I think he sucks. I think he needs fired. I think the NBA is different than the NFL, right? Like, if you lose 2 games in a row in the NFL, does that suck? Yeah, but like you can get back on it, and it's more of like it only takes a couple players having a good like turnaround to like turn it all around because it's more of a team sport in the NFL, right?
Yeah.
In the NBA, I feel like once you hit a cold snap, like you really need that guy to like. Because what does an NBA coach even do other than like hype you up, get you ready, and like rotations?
Coaching's important. I mean, here they're part of doing the game planning, running practices. What are you doing in practice?
No.
Are they more of an offensive coach or more defensive coach? I think JB is more of a defensive coach. I just don't think
the defense has been trash.
Yeah, I think to me, Kobe Altman and JB Bickerstaff are on the hot seat. Kobe did a nice job. A lot of people doubted him when LeBron left and wrote him off, so they're going to suck forever. You got to give him credit. He did a hell of a job building them back to the draft and smart trades. He did a nice job for that.
Yeah.
But I think we're at a point now, and every team comes to this, and especially in basketball, where your coach can only take you so far and your GM only takes you so far. And now it's time to get guys in here, kind of what Golden State did back in the 15. Although I think Martin Jackson probably could have got it done. I think he was a great coach. But you've seen other teams throughout, the history of basketball. You go to Doug Collins when he was with the Bulls with Jordan early on. Wasn't until Phil Jackson got in there. They ran the right system. We got a coach that's a winning coach, championship level coach. There's coaches that can get you so far, and then there's coaches that can get you over the hump to the championship. I think that's what we're looking at here. I think I agree with you. I like JB a lot. Nice guy. I think he's a pretty good coach. I think he's a good coach for consider all the other coaches in the NBA. But this is kind of what he's good for, getting you the playoffs. He's a rebuild coach. That's what it seems like. I mean, unless he can prove us otherwise in the playoffs, but
yeah, at this point, it's like we just gotta fire him, like trade for some sort of star so we can sign Donovan Mitchell long term. Because I think without him,
well, that's why I think to me Kobe Altman should be on the hot seat as well. Actually, maybe more than JB, and that might be a hot take, but I believe that because the roster he assembled is very unbalanced. I don't know, and I said this going into the season. I thought they'd be pretty good, like playoff-wise, like playoff contender, which we both said to be in the playoffs. But as the year went on, I kept bitching on the show because I'm like, they're too small in the perimeter. We have our small forward 6'5", so you have two non-shooting bigs. Although I've been starting to develop a little bit more, but you still got two non-shooting bigs, and then you have two small guards already to begin with, and you got a 6'5" small forward in Strus who's one-dimensional. He's just a shooter. Yeah, that's not a very good balance of lineup there. That's why we see such the inconsistencies. They're just not a very balanced team, in my opinion, from top to bottom on the roster.
Yeah, no, it's it's been so bad that I've shifted to baseball mode, and I've actually started watching the Guardians. And
I haven't watched a single game yet.
We are.
I heard we're rolling.
It's still really early in the season, but we're tied for best record in the American League right now.
I saw they got the win yesterday at home, so that's good.
Yeah,
and it sucked here. Shane Bieber out for the year. Shane Bieber out for the year. That hurts, obviously.
I was so looking
6-2 rolling, and you get that news. It's like such Cleveland sports luck. But
I was looking forward to watching him pitch because I'm gonna go to some baseball games this year, and I was like, man, this is the last year I'm probably going to be able to watch Shane Bieber pitch in a Guardians uniform, and now it's like nope. And the likelihood of him coming back, because baseball is not like the NFL, right? Like if somebody's coming off an injury, if they're a good pitcher or a good power hitter or a good something, there is no discount if they're coming off of injury. There's going to be a team out there willing to pay the money for that player, and Shane Bieber is about to get a bag from somebody. Not us. At least not for 4 more years, because that's when the Dolan's majority stake is basically gone, and this cat that owns a minority is going to become the majority, and he wants to spend money on the team. But 4 more years of suffering, Cleveland fans.
I mean, they got some new pieces part of the ownership, like guys who bought stakes in it and stuff. And
there's that. And then also, this is the first year without Tito.
Yeah, with Tito. But I mean, here's the new guys doing
Stephen Vogt.
Stephen Vogt. He's doing a nice job. I like him. He's got energy. He's young. I think
he's very young. He was playing 2 years ago.
Yeah, former player. I like the hire personally.
Yeah,
I think he matches. He likes Cleveland a lot too. It seems like I like his speech he gave. I'm gonna be honest. I haven't been into baseball like I used to be for a while, but I'm still hopeful. I'm hopeful for the fans. I know my mom likes baseball. Shout out to mom. Hello, Joseph, Mike. Always.
Hi, Mom.
But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna start watching a little bit. I mean, I'm glad Jose's still here. That's my guy. I love Jose.
Yeah, Jose's gonna retire here, which is nice.
Yeah, which is nice. He just built the new baseball facility too, right outside of Cleveland. Nice little
Yeah, he
complex.
did.
Beautiful place.
Him and the one person I was surprised that we were able to sign long term is Andres Jimenez, who won the Platinum Glove award last year as the best infielder. So like he's like
But it's the same thing with us though. Always, it's how can our outfield go with the bats? That's always been we'd never spent any money in the outfield.
No, I mean Quan is dope. Quan's awesome.
I like Quan.
Freeman is better than Miles Straw, which is good. And then Will Brennan is hit or miss. But otherwise, I mean, our infield game, our bases are good. Our pitching, even without Shane Bieber, I mean, Sticks came back yesterday and had a better outing after he was out for the year. That's Tristan McKenzie for none of you baseball fans. We call him Sticks because he's a skinny little man, but he's a bad dude. He's so good at baseball.
I saw him when he came in the league at 19. He's
dude, Sticks just deals, and he's just a great guy. Everybody loves Sticks around here. And then Tanner Bybee, who was a rookie last year, who I think he was he rookie of the year last year? He might have been, or he might have been like second in voting. And he's just a dog on the pitcher's mound. And then we still got one of the best closers in the game in Emmanuel Clase. When he's on, he's one of the best. But behind him, our closers are so. But yeah, no, I think we have a good chance again to win the division and at least go to the playoffs and then lose to somebody who spends money on their baseball team. But it's going to be a fun ride, like it always is.
I said on the show before too. Somebody you and I both know is very close friends with the Dolans. That's kind of always been, who I'm talking about. We won't say their name, but it's kind of always been their goal. Just make enough money for the playoffs, get the revenue,
be fun.
Which all right, that's fine. I mean, I will say the ballpark looks a lot nicer.
The ballpark
renovation to it. So
it looks great from what I've seen. I can't wait to check it out.
Yeah, it looks
beer's more expensive though now.
Yeah,
bastards.
Maybe worth going to the game. Last year, people try to give us tickets. It was like, nah, we're good.
Last year also we were miserable. We were miserable.
Last year, like people like, hey, you want these tickets to be on home plate? I'm like, nah, I'm good. You can give them to somebody else.
Yeah.
This year, though, maybe it'll be different. Hopefully, I'm hoping.
Yeah. No, I might go this Sunday when the Yankees are in town because the tickets don't look that bad actually. And I was like, why not? Yeah. We'll watch. Hopefully,
I saw our boy Lindor hit a home run finally the other day.
Huh?
I saw Lindor finally hit a home run for the Mets the other day. He was like,
oh yeah, he was apparently like people are giving him death threats, like Mets, New York fans. What's wrong with you? As a conglomerate, I know all of you are guilty of this sin. New York fans are weird, dude. They are weird people.
It's sad because he's such a nice. I met Francisco.
Frankie's a nice guy.
When I was 13 years old, I was down on the field when he was at Rubber Ducks. Well, it used to be the Arrows at the time.
Yeah,
he was there playing minor league. I was down on the field. It was our league night there, and I got to go down on the field. And I was out there. He walked out of the dugout, and he just came up to me. He was like, "Hey man, what's up?" Just started talking to me, and I didn't really know who he was. And my president of our league was like, "That's Francisco Lindor. He's one of the best players in the league about 3 years." He was right. He knew because he was like a super baseball fan, knew all the prospects and everybody.
Yeah. My boss is like that.
Nicest guy ever. Francis, he was such a sweet guy, nice guy. So I've always been a fan of his. Even when he left, I've still been rooting for him. But
much like it's weird how like the dynamic of baseball players is because like 90% of them are like down to earth guys. Even like to a point, even though I hate him because he's so good. Like Aaron Judge is a down to earth guy. I hate him. He plays for the Yankees.
When I was a kid, I went down because I basically lived down in Tampa for a little bit, down in Clearwater. And that's the Phillies AA associate.
Mm-hmm.
Threshers. It used to be the Clearwater Threshers. And so this is when the Phillies were like in their heyday, like when they had an elite team, like Ryan Howard, Chase Utley, loaded. Like
they still got a pretty elite team. They were in the World Series a couple years ago.
You gotta remember, I haven't paid attention to baseball like that, but I'm talking about I'm like when I think of the Phillies, I think of that team. That team was loaded. Stars ever, and I got to I was like a little kid after the game. My aunt used to work for the Bright House Field, or she worked for Bright House, who owned the field. And so, anyways, we went in the back after the game out in like the bar area, and they all came out. And I was sitting on Ryan Howard's lap, got his autograph, and they were just like the coolest dudes ever, just hanging out with them. Like, you're right. Baseball players are probably the more friendly ones I've noticed.
Yeah,
out of all the other three sports.
Well, it's because like one of the best players in the league can be walking around. And he just looks like someone's dad.
Right. You
like,
know, you wouldn't know them.
you
Like
know,
those
like,
guys were cool as hell. We were just hanging out with them all night.
Mhm.
And I was a little 5-6-year-old hanging out with
like
the
look at
Carters.
Josh Naylor, who's probably the second best hitter on the team besides Jose. And like, if he wasn't like, if he didn't play for a major Cleveland team, which like everybody knows you if you play for a Cleveland team in Cleveland, because that's just
Right.
how we are as fans. Like he just looks like somebody's dad. You
Yeah.
know, like,
Yeah, he's getting off at 3. Getting more
he's just a
construction up here.
dude,
Like,
you
yeah.
know. You look, he's got a beer belly, you know. He just looks like he's on his way home, gonna grab his 6-pack of Keystone Light and just, and then you know, just watch his 21st season of Grey's Anatomy when he gets home, all that good stuff.
Well, speaking of
Let's
Cleveland,
transition. Yeah.
transition though. Shout out to the Guardians.
Shout out to the
Well,
Guardians. Yeah, I forced baseball into the show.
Yeah, no, it's all good. Hopefully, they keep playing well because we'll get into the NBA playoffs real quick, Mike. Playoffs are right around the corner. Can't wait. Should be a good one. You got the full standings here. The Cavs have dropped, Mike. They were third. Now they're not even home court advantage now. Right now they would match up against the Knicks and wouldn't have home court advantage. Now Julius Randle is out for the year, which I think is a big loss for them. But right now in the East, Mike, I think Embiid back. It's with the Philly at 7. They're dangerous because Embiid's just a dangerous player. And I look at the matchups here. Milwaukee, they have all the talent, but they're way too inconsistent. And Doc Rivers and them don't seem to gel. And some of when you're going to the playoffs like this with all this kind of drama, coaches making comments in the media like that, that's not a good sign. I think Boston's clearly going to make it out of the East. They've been the best team in basketball all year. My only question with them going in the year, which I remember we talked about it, was their bench. But they seem to figure it out. The rotations are really good.
Yeah.
They got the best 5 in the league.
I think Boston.
With Drew Holiday, with Derek White, Drew Holiday, you got Tatum Brown. You can put Porzingis at the 5. That's the best lineup in the NBA, in my opinion. That's like their death lineup, like Golden State used to have. But I like Boston in the East by far.
Yeah, I think Boston is actually probably going to win it all. I just don't see. I don't see anybody in the West that really matches with him. I think this can finally be Tatum's year, which good for him. He deserves it.
Yeah, they're pretty. I mean, and they got I think the next Matthew Dellavedova and Peyton Pritchard kind of reminds me of when we had our run. But yeah, Boston is loaded. Now you still got look in the West here, Mike.
Wolves, holy shit.
I think the Timberwolves and the Nuggets. I could see both of them making it to the Western Conference Finals. To be honest, the Lakers are starting to get hot down there at 9. They're starting to figure out a little bit. I think they are dangerous because of the players they have. You got LeBron still. You got Reeves. You got Davis. D'Lo's played really well. They're starting to get hot at the right time. I think they'll be a difficult team. If Dallas had more size, I'd like them more, but they're just too small. I don't like their outside of Kyrie, Luka. They ain't nobody else there. LA's been way too up and down. The Clippers. I like OKC. I think they'll be a tough out, but I don't know if that experience could catch up. I mean, you could say something about Minnesota, but I like Minnesota because I think Denver deserves to be the favorite just because it's proven to see somebody beat Jokic yet in a 7-game series is such a problem.
Yeah.
But I do think they have the guys to do it. They got the 2 big twin towers up front, and Ant-Man. Outside of Jokic,
I think he's going to be the best player. I think he's going to be the face of the NBA.
I agree. He should be the face.
A year or two.
I don't like to say this, but he's similarities to Michael Jordan in terms of the athleticism. 6'5", 6'6" shooting guard, could jump out. You know what I mean? Just like that explosive.
He's the dog.
Two-way guy.
I will be the biggest if Boston goes to the finals, and because I do not like the Celtics. I don't think anybody in the East really likes the Celtics. Nobody vibes with them like that. They're like teams that, like, if they made it all the way, I'd be like, I know you got family in Boston. I know.
Okay. Yes, I mean,
but like,
although
for the most part,
against them, I did not like him. Obviously, I'm rooting for my Cavs.
Yeah, for the most part, we do not vibe with Boston sports as Cleveland natives for multiple.
I will say
reasons.
that I went to a Celtics game. It's pretty cool.
I'm sure. Like, well, I mean, they're a basketball town first and foremost. Because for me, it's like, I mean, they became a football town because of Tom Brady, but now that he's gone, it's like,
I mean,
Celtics, Bruins, Sox,
it's Celtics, Bruins, Sox.
Pats.
Than the Pats. Yeah, I agree. I think, although, I mean, the Sox and the Bruins are pretty neck and neck with the Celtics, believe it or not. I mean, it's
Yeah.
I
Well, the
know.
Bruins they've always been dogs. They've always been like.
I know, like my family up there, like my uncle, he was a great hockey player, almost went pro. I had another uncle, I think he played semi-pro. That hockey's huge up there, like
Oh yeah.
huge. Like every time I go up there, like, do you guys watch the Blue Jackets? And I'm like, no, I don't know who's on the team, dog. I don't know. Like,
Yeah.
you
I
know,
watch the Jackets, but that's because I'm a glutton for suffering.
yeah, definitely Celtics though. Yeah, I'd say the Celtics are at the best history up there, the
Yeah.
longest history, most championships, 17 banners. I mean, come on. I mean, so
Yeah.
yeah, I'd say the Celtics, but I like them in the East. I agree with you, and I think, although I think Philly can give them a run for their money. I think just because Embiid's is so dominant, and Tyrese Maxey's a bad dude.
And I'll never count out Giannis in the playoffs, no matter who's the coach or who's.
Yeah, I won't count him out, but I just don't like what I'm seeing or hearing. You know, what
I
mean?
don't either.
And the defensively, they're bad.
Yeah.
Defensively.
Yeah, but I'd
be
be
Drew Holiday still. Now he's on the rival.
Right.
It.
I'd be.
Who do
I mean,
you
I
like
will
in
say
the-
this: I will be
Oh,
the
go ahead.
biggest bandwagon Wolves fan in the playoffs. If
Who
the
do you
Cavs,
like in the West? So we both got Boston out of the East, right?
yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
dude,
that's a no-brainer to me. Who do you like out of the West?
if they can just score, I mean, they're good defensively, they're good offensively. I hate to just be the guy who goes with both ones, but like,
I don't know.
the Wolves are just,
Pretty
they're just insane, and like, their differential's insane. Like, I mean, look at 106 a game. They have the best defense in the West. They have one of the best offenses in the West. Like,
Yeah.
if Gobert keeps being the defensive mastermind he is, then like they can get Ant to do what he does best.
Towns is having a great year.
Towns is having a great year, and he doesn't have to be the guy anymore. And I think that's where he like is best, is when he's not asked to be the guy. I could see the Wolves, or believe it or not, my sneaky team is OKC. Shai Gilgeous-Alexander is a real MVP candidate.
Chet Holmgren's a bad.
Chet Holmgren was as advertised, which pisses me off.
Yeah, I did some tape on Chet last week. He's nice.
Yeah, he's advertised.
I don't know.
Yeah, and then they got Sicko on OKC. I can't remember his name, but I just call him Sicko.
Yeah, got a free pass and nobody talked about it. But anyway, that's a whole nother story.
That's Sicko.
Yeah. Weirdo. But anyways, I don't know. I probably want to pick the Timberwolves just because I love Ant-Man. I think he might be the best player this year.
I was about to say, I hate to be the guy that picks both ones, but I think I am going to do that.
See, part of me wants to say Denver because I haven't seen him be beaten yet. Because it's like Jokic is such a problem in a 7 games. Because when he gets the ball in that post, the whole game, I've never seen a guy since Shaq. He's the biggest. Since Shaq, where you throw him the ball. He's not as dominant as Shaq. They're two different type of players. But in terms of when you throw them the ball in the post, the whole game stops. It revolves around them.
I don't like their bench production though that they had.
Last year they had a great bench. They had Bruce Brown.
Yeah,
they had guys like that who were very key. They don't KCP. I don't think KCP's there anymore. So they don't have that this year. So part of me kind of likes Minnesota. I like OKC. I just think they're a little too young. I think the Lakers, the way the Lakers are playing right now, it's hard to not give them a. They're playing really good right now. They look good. They found a rhythm. Can they close games? No, they're too old. They don't have a closer yet. Maybe Reeves can be it, but I don't feel like they haven't found that yet, which kind of hurt them last year. They got swept. I'm gonna go with you. I'm gonna go with the T-Wolves.
Yeah,
I just think Ant-Man to me.
Celtics Wolves.
I think now Celtics Lakers, if the Lakers can keep it going, would be phenomenal.
Fun fact: if the Wolves go, that'll be the first finals they've ever made.
Yeah, I think it'd be a hell of a finals because how we thought of Jokic last year is what I think of Ant-Man this year. Like in a 7-game series, I don't want to play this guy 4 times.
Yeah, and I think Jokic, just because of how he's built, like he's not built to last because he really doesn't. He's not like. He's just good at the game. He's just freaky good. And like, I'm not saying he's unathletic. He's a professional basketball player. He's very athletic. It's just he's
probably put himself.
He's not he doesn't like
probably one of.
Care of himself.
You think
you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know how many years he has left, but I think he's probably definitely put himself in top 10 centers of all time, probably in the back half, in my opinion.
I mean, yeah, he won Denver their first ever.
And that means something, or he's at least he's in consideration. I mean, there's so many great centers. We don't see many of them because center position's not like it used to be. But
no, but I feel like he plays it. He's like a center that still plays defense, but also plays point guard for them.
I mean, he's not a great defender. He's not a great defender, but I would say it's just.
I mean, he could play defense.
He may be the best. He's probably the best. In terms of passing big men of all time, he's probably the best passing big man we've ever seen.
Yeah,
I can't think. I mean, there was some.
I don't even know who else is on that list.
I mean,
Duncan's
Nah, I mean, you look at the back. I mean, the early Sacramento. Vlade was a good passer. Chris Webber, he was more of a four. He was a hell of a passer. And they ran that corner.
That Kings team is still the best team to never win a chip. I swear to God,
they were good.
Rick
Allen was the coach, but I don't know. I mean, I can't really think of any other big man that passed like that. We've seen some good ones in history NBA, but not like that. That's like I said, the whole game stops when he touches the ball. And so, but I don't think they have the pieces this year, though, because last year when he kicked it out, they had guys that would knock it down. I don't think they have that as much this year. That's why I like the T-Wolves. Plus, the T-Wolves, they can kind of shade him a little bit. They can, with the Twin Towers, and there's Ant-Man out on the perimeter. With Mike Conley's their point guard, too. He's not a slouch. He's a veteran guy who is probably due to, he's been an ultimate professional, probably is due to at least compete for a championship at one point in his life, his career. At least get a shot. So, I'm going to go with the T-Wolves. I like that. They got depth. They got size. And Ant-Man, I don't want to see him for 7-game series. Good luck.
Right. No.
But all right, Mike, moving on to the next, the main topic of the show I put today in the thumbnail. Who will be the starting quarterback for the Ohio State Buckeyes this fall? You got Will Howard, who transferred in from Kansas State, who a lot of people assumed was going to be the guy.
That's who I assumed it was going to be.
You got Devin Brown, who's coming back healthy. And then you got Julian Sayin, the true freshman who's been an absolute phenom so far out of spring and lost his black stripe yesterday. Mike, I'm gonna go to you. Who do you like? Or do you want me to go first?
I mean, I'll go first because I don't have like the analytic mind when it comes to college. You know me, I just watch as it goes, and then when it's draft time, I lock in. But like, I mean, I assumed it was gonna be Will Howard. He transferred over here. He's better than McCord.
I told you it was a competition.
Yeah, I mean, I assume I'm
not surprised because. Well, go ahead.
I'm just gonna say I still assume it's Will Howard just based off of everything. But like, if there's a true freshman that's good enough to start, then why wouldn't you? Yeah. Especially if he's beating out two dudes that have been doing it or at least been around it. And like, if he's that good, then like, yeah, I mean, start him.
I think Will Howard transfers again.
Really?
I don't think. What I've heard from the people I've trusted, Zach Smith reported, I know he gets good information. I think, he said on his show, I agree with. I just think, from what it sounds like too, Devin Brown shined in the scrimmage last Saturday. They did really well. Will Howard did okay. He shows more veteranship at times because he has experience, but he doesn't have the arm strength. He's just he can't push the ball down the field. He's a better runner than Devin, obviously, with his feet. He's shown that. He's more like JT Barrett. Yeah. So kind of who he is. A more athletic, maybe JT Barrett or a little bigger. Mm-hmm. But I think Devin Brown will be the guy. I thought he should have been the guy last year, but that's some bullshit, to be honest with you. Kind of happened, and it kind of bit him in the ass. But neither here nor there. But I think Devin will be the guy. But I think Sayin's got a shot. I think he's in a wild card. It's very rare for a freshman to start because they got as talented as he is. He may be the best. Probably is the best overall talent out of the three. And will be the guy down the road. He'll be possibly a first rounder one day. He looks that good. But I just don't think he'll be ready enough in time to start that early in his career. I mean, it's very rare. Like Trevor Lawrence was a super prospect coming out. And he started he didn't start right away. He started middle of the season. So maybe we could see that if Devin Brown wasn't playing great. But I just don't see I think Devin knows the offense more. That's why he's still getting the first team reps at practice still. Will Howard is yet to have first team reps in the scrimmage still. So to me, that's kind of tells you a little bit where they're thinking. I And just Devin has a bigger arm. He can push the ball down the field more. I still like Devin Brown. I just think he hasn't gotten the fair shake yet.
Yeah.
Had he started last year, I think he might have had the screw ups early like Kyle McCord, but I think by the end of the year he would have took off more and evolved more, kind of like Stroud did. Not saying he's CJ Stroud, but you know what I mean. Like eventually, I think he would have took the climb. I think they would have had a better shot at beating Michigan if he was the quarterback, because I think he's more talented, better arm, and everything. So I'm gonna say Devin Brown, but I think Ryan Day is trying. He's trying to keep it as close as he can because he doesn't want anybody. He doesn't want Will Howard to transfer. He wants guys to stay in the house just for depth reasons in case something happens or security reason, safety blanket. But I do think eventually, the way it sounds, I think Devin. I think after the spring game this Saturday, he's going to have to sit him down and kind of be straight up with them. After spring ball, and kind of tell each quarterback, like, listen, this is what's going on. Yeah, I think Sayan's fine. Sayan knows he'll be the guy eventually. He's rolling right now, but I think when he talks to Devin and he talks to Will Howard, I wouldn't be surprised if Will eventually was kind of like, you know what, I'm not getting guaranteed the starting job here. I only got one more year left. I'm gonna look at my options elsewhere where I get a guaranteed starting job.
Yeah.
So, but I'd say Devin Brown right now for me, and then eventually Sayan's coming. He's coming. But also another guy who is balling right now, might be the best freshman prospect in Ohio State history after this year. He's playing that well. It's Jeremiah Smith, Mike. I'm not sure if you've seen these highlights.
I have. Kid is insane from what I've heard. Oh my God.
Yeah, he's a freak show.
Wide receiver,
true freshman. He had a one-handed catch the other day in the back of the end zone, which was nuts. Crazy ass one-handed catch like this, tiptoed in bounds. That guy, from what I've heard from people that have covered the team for a long time, they've never seen anybody like this. As a freshman, how good he looks. He's technically still in high school, and he's playing like that. That's scary. Like, so I think we're looking at a guy right there who could possibly be a Heisman candidate one day. He's probably gonna be a starter. He will be a starter this upcoming year. Probably be him, Carnell Tate, and Brandon Ennis and Emeka Buga. Those are top four. All four of those guys are first round guys, possibly. So, but Ohio State looks really good right now, and that guy right there, he's gonna be must see TV. Yeah, I can't wait. He could possibly win a Heisman or two. I think he's that good. The way how dominant he looks, he's dominating guys who you look at that secondary, all the guys they brought back. They got first round guys that could be in the 2025 draft. He's cooking them. He's in high school. Balling. Like no drop. Like you think this guy, he's a third year player. He looks that good. So I don't know. I'm curious. What do you think of Ohio State this year? You think they'll win the Big Ten?
I mean, if they don't, Ryan Day is fired, super fired. So they have to, right? Like they got pretty much everybody coming back. They have a better quarterback situation.
Yeah.
Like you have to. Like it isn't a matter of should they? Yes.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely should. And if they absolutely don't, Ryan Day's kicking rocks.
Yeah. I think the schedule favors them this year. Obviously, you got Oregon early on. That's gonna be a big test out in Eugene. So that's gonna be a tough test. Oregon's a good team, great, well coached. Dan Lann's a great coach, and they got the kid from Oklahoma to transfer there, Gabriel. I think it's Dylan, or I can't remember his name, Gabriel something. Whatever his name, he's really good quarterback. But anyways, so that'd be a big test early on, and then obviously you got Michigan at the end of the year. Although I don't think Michigan's gonna be as good, but they'll still be a good team. I think they'll be running the ball well. Moore's still gonna run the ball well. They'll probably have a good defense still. So, but I think they'll win the Big Ten. I think they'll reclaim the Big Ten this year. I think they got a good shot to win it all. I mean, I think right now, you look at all the teams in the country. I know there's a team that's more balanced and complete to them. So. And they got all those guys coming back too, kind of like what Michigan had last year. All those, super seniors, veteran guys, first round talent everywhere, especially on defense. Defense is loaded this year. You got Caleb Downs, you added to the defense. So
Yeah.
Maybe the best safety in college football. Yeah, I like them a lot this year. I think Devin, like I said, I think Devin will be at the helm, and then they got the best 2 running backs too. You got Travion and Quentin Judkins, 1-2 punch. So loaded. So I mean, the only thing I have an issue with or question mark will be the right side of the line, probably right tackle. But I think they'll figure it out. They got some talented guys. So.
Big boy DeJuan Jones, Cleveland Brown.
Yeah. Speaking of the Browns, Mike.
Speaking of.
The Browns picked up Greg Newsome's 5th-year option yesterday, Mike. I know he's been a big talk this offseason.
Mm-hmm.
Are they going to trade him? What are they going to do with Greg? Because they got Martin coming up here down the stretch. They got to pay. Obviously, keeping Martin. You just paid Ward 2 years ago. So, what's your thoughts? You know more than me because I saw this yesterday. I saw the news. I know you've read up more about it because I know I'm more Ohio State. You're more Browns. So. You're Michael K. Cabot. Take it away, Mike. What do you think of this Greg Newsome news and what this could mean?
I mean, I think it makes sense. Like the Browns have the Browns look like they don't really want to trade away too many assets this year because of how well the defense was and performed. Even when they weren't 100% healthy, makes sense. They want to pick up the 5th year, give Greg a little bit of breathing room so he knows he has some clarity. That doesn't necessarily mean that like he's going to be here long term because you can't keep everybody. You already paid Denzel, you're probably going to pay Martin, and then you got one other guy you're going to pay on that. Sorry, right.
Go ahead.
And then you got JOK who you got to pay this year. His contract is up after this year, so you got to pay him at the very least this year. So I mean, Martin is probably a franchise tag candidate after next year is what I kind of foresee, and they'll work out the money and the funds from there because you got some guys contracts that are coming up. But yeah, I mean, Greg is the 3rd best corner. I mean, he's really, by the numbers, he was one of the better nickel corners in the league. But it's not like the most premium position. So I think it makes sense for the Browns to kind of like stick with it unless they get like minimum. I heard they were asking for a 2nd round pick for Greg if like somebody wanted to trade for him because they were in talks with Detroit for a little bit. But Detroit wouldn't move off of a 3rd, and they just think Greg's play doesn't like necessitate that. And they go and they will have no problem moving off of him for less next year. They'd prefer to have the play this year and then move off of him for maybe a 3rd or a 4th next year when they have more picks, because as of it stands, at least for this upcoming year, the Browns don't have a whole hell of a lot of holes, if any, really, that needs to be like filled direly. So I think they're fine going into this draft with 5 picks and just kind of taking best player available for the most part, or any prospects they like. They might move up from what I'm hearing, but it's got to be someone I really, really, really like. But yeah, like it makes sense. Like I think Greg's at least going to be here for next year, and then they'll kind of see what the market is, and they'll send him somewhere where he can start and get a long-term deal, even if we just get a 4th back. The Browns aren't a team to be like, the Browns are strangely not a team to let like draft picks walk. Like if you get drafted by the Browns, for the most part, you're either going to get paid or you're going to get traded. Unless, you're like a depth piece like Jordan Elliott or Taki. Yeah.
Although Taki was a good starter, and I think now you're starting to see we haven't seen that yet, guys walk away. But I think with the contracts starting to add up a little bit. Now the cap is going up because of Amazon money, which we said 2 years ago would. But I think you will start to see more. You've seen the Takis leave now. You're going to see some guys walk away just because of money reasons. Because,
I mean, and there's going to be,
which is fine as long as you got your main core. That's all that matters. So
there's going to be some depth piece guys that you're not going to see stay around, and depending on what Nick is this year, that move might hurt us all. Nick Chubb might be his last year. Jed, depending on how he plays, might be his last year. Jack might be his last year, depending on health, because they can cut ties with him after this year for little to no money.
You think he gets traded?
Jack Conklin, maybe.
I think if they can get a team up in like after the draft or somebody that maybe they couldn't get the tackle they wanted that needs a tackle bad because he's only got 1 year left. So I mean, I get it's $15 million salary.
Well, he's got 3 years left technically, but like we can
1 year
cut ties with, huh?
Oh, so we can cut ties.
Yes. So essentially, like after the 2 years, the guarantees are out. So like the team can move off of him.
So a team, if we traded him, that team could do the same thing.
Yeah, if they wanted.
So
or they could keep him for the rest of the year because then it's just an incentive-laden deal after the first 2 years.
I'm fine. If they can dump him for just a pick or a couple picks or whatever, I'm fine. DeJuan's got to play. Period. DeJuan's got to play. He's too damn good. He's a franchise right tackle. He's dominant. He's one of the better lineman guys I've seen as a rookie play like that. I mean, and just stepped in and got thrown in the fire week 1, and there was not really many holes. So, and he's a freak. But no, I agree with you. I mean, I think when you look at the roster right now, I agree with you with the Greg Newsome thing because everybody's talking about trading him, trade him. But the more I thought about it, I'm kind of like, well, if you're trying to win this year, why not keep all the talent for 1 more year as much as you can? Your core, especially your defense. Defense was the best defense in the league last year, and those trio of corners are probably the best trio in the league. I don't know another trio better. And Greg really fit into that role last year and embraced it with Jim Schwartz, and they did well when they were healthy. They were beating everybody. So I mean, they're tough. I mean, that's a tough trio of corners. So, but I agree. I think you keep them all for 1 year, try to go all in. You win it, great. If you go far, great. And then you can start to cut ties a little. Plus, you got your first rounder back next year. So, I agree with you.
You're not going to draft a nickel corner in the first round. You know?
Yeah. But I think this kind of signals, though. I mean, a lot really goes into this year.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I know they're supposed to get extended. We still haven't seen anything yet since Haslam said that 2 weeks ago. We assume they're getting extended, Barry and Stefanski. But this is still a big year for them. Like this is it. Like this is all the pieces they've acquired. Everything's healthy now. Like you redid the offense. You got Dorsey up in here. You got your defensive coordinator going into year 2. This is it.
This is a really big year for Deshaun. I think the extensions are still
a big year for this whole thing.
Because everything I've been reading, it sounds like the Barry and Kevin extensions are still pretty much done. They're just waiting to announce it, more or less. For the most part, though, this is the last year for Deshaun to kind of prove it. Like minus any sort of like huge injury. Next year, since they have the first round pick back, I wouldn't be surprised if he doesn't have a great year if they start to look at drafting a quarterback. Because, you know, I kind of said this before, you know, and I got some flack from it. Not from you, from others. That like the Browns are more likely to move off of Deshaun than they are to move off of Kevin at this point. Like if it doesn't work after they traded for Jerry Jeudy, after they got a more pass-heavy offensive coordinator, and after they've given him, you know, all of the weapons. Hell, if we draft a wide receiver with our first pick, you know, if we're giving him everything under the sun and it still doesn't work, they're probably more than likely going to move off of him than they would Kevin, which is kind of what Mary Kay's kind of been hinting at, kind of what, you know, Tony Grossi, Brad Stainbrook, like all those guys have kind of said the same thing, where the Browns are at a point where they're really happy with their front office and coaching staff. It's up to Deshaun as the quarterback to, you know, take the pieces that he has, you know, that he should have been given for starters, but like the pieces that are around him and, you know, make it work essentially.
Well, I mean, I get the pieces part of it, but to me, I think it's more the Ken Dorsey hiring to me and the offensive kind of evolving. I think that's more important to me because that's ultimately going to unlock him and make him the best version of himself, is the comfort in the system with his talents. And then the pieces on top of that, you know, I agree with that. I don't know. I get what you're saying. It's hard to me, a player, especially in a player empowered league now as it is, making $30 million. You know, that's not an easy contract to come off of fully guaranteed. I think the power structure is a little even between the two. Why? I don't know. It's just my hunch. Just kind of what I think. I am still surprised though that hasn't been announced yet. That's the extensions. Like he sat up there and said we're working on it. Should be done. Like he just thought to be done by now. Like I don't get what the whole. I don't know. I think what could be holding up is Kevin, and this is smart. I don't blame Kevin for this. I mean, he just won the second Coach of the Year. Just took them to the playoffs for the second time, and when he took over, they were shit. So Jim Harbaugh just got walked in the NFL, got 16.5 million, I think it was. If I'm Kevin Stefanski, I'm going to the Browns, my agent, going, hey, homeboy just got, X amount of dollars. Why can't I? But I think there's got to be no, but I do think the Browns, because coaching is different, because just in case something goes south and you have to move on one day, you don't want to be paying a guy X amount of dollars, you know what I mean, to not be coaching your team. So I do think that money could be the problem in this, like just where they could find that middle ground. Maybe they found it. Maybe Kevin didn't ask that. Maybe Kevin just said, hey, I'll go with 12 or 10, which I think the Browns want to stay in that 10 to 12 range. I don't think they want to go high, and I don't blame them for not going higher than that. But I also don't blame Kevin either for going, hey, the market says this.
From everything that has been reported, it sounds like it's more or less done. It's just that for the most part, like they just haven't announced it for the most part.
I don't know why you wouldn't. There's nothing to hold
I guess it's one of those things where it's like it's not like at the forefront of need. It's like one of those things where it's like it's not like a player that's going to go off in a free agency, right? Like Kevin doesn't want to, leave the Browns. Andrew Berry doesn't want to leave the Browns. It's not as easy to go to a different team, right? Like there are only so many jobs available now. Exactly. This is their program.
Year 5 now.
This is their team.
This is by year 5. This is your program. So
exactly. So like, it's one of those things where it's like, they will announce it. There's not a huge rush on it. They're focused on the draft. It's probably going to come out in early summertime when a lot of the coaching decisions come. But everything that's been reported by people who are closer to the situation, Diana Rossini, Brad Stainbrook, and Mary Kay to be exact, like it sounds like it's pretty much done. They're just working out like the kinks of the contract.
Not only that, I mean, right now, the last month or two for GMs and coaches, you're
they're completely focused on the draft.
You're full blown scouting, so that makes sense. I mean, I could see, when the schedule comes out, they could announce it then, because that's usually the week after. So, but I mean, I expect them to. I think Deshaun Watson's comments endorsing his coach like that over the weekend was great. I mean,
you watched that interview? I was going to ask.
I watched. I did a show on the back part of it when Kevin talked about second or halftime adjustments, how there really isn't, and you only have like 5 minutes really. So really you're doing adjustments throughout the game. And I kind of mentioned on the show how I think that to me signals why I think not that Kevin's a bad play caller. I just think why as a head coach and a player, which my point on this. I think Ken Dorsey will be the play caller because I think it's better for the team right now. I think it's especially when they explain it to you. When you're doing adjustments like that in the NFL during the game, your head coach is pulled away because he's the head coach of the team. Kevin only walks over to Sean for about 5 minutes or 2 minutes and talks to him. And he's sitting there with I prefer more of the play caller sitting with the quarterback, especially for this team. Not, unless you're Andy Reid, but Andy Reid's older and kind of earned the right. I think it takes time to get there. Plus you have Mahomes. So, but, the offense is pretty simple. Just throw it to Kelsey. But, no, but I'm just playing. But I do think Ken Dorsey will be the play caller. And I think that how they broke that down in the interview about how the adjustments really work in the NFL, which I said, I think that's why Ken Dorsey will be with Deshaun. Plus, it's a newer system too. I think they'll be running, and that Ken Dorsey knows that system. That's not a knock on Kevin. I actually think a lot of people think that's hate on Kevin when I say that, or people on the show say that maybe Ken Dorsey should be the play caller. I actually think it's a benefit to Kevin because it shows unselfishness. It shows a leader. It shows somebody who's willing to take a step back for the betterment of the team. You know what I mean? I think it actually says more about Kevin. A lot of coaches lose their job because they're too prideful to let go of that. I don't think Kevin's that guy. I think Kevin's very unselfish. I think he's a very good leader.
I think he just wants
to he just wants to win. Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. I think he even said it in the interview. He goes, I just want to win those trophies. I don't care about the coach of the year stuff.
Yeah, he's like, that's a
trophy.
collaborative thing. That's like
and Kevin's
thing.
great in the community. He's got the Glenville thing on. He does a lot of work behind the scenes nobody talks about or knows.
Yeah,
about.
I love Kevin. I'm the biggest
Kevin's a great
supporter of
guy.
Kevin. I'm a king of the Kevin Stefanski fan club. Everybody says that.
I know, but I get some of these comments from people sometimes like, you're hating on Kevin. I'm like, I'm not hating on Kevin. I think Kevin's good. I'm just saying sometimes in the betterment of the team, roles need to be, need to be different. People don't realize how much a head coach is pulled in so many different directions throughout the week. That's why you don't really see a whole lot of coordinator coaches who are also the coordinator. They don't really win a whole lot of Super Bowls. Andy Reid is doing it now with a generational quarterback, but it took him 20 years to get to that point. It took a long time. It's just not it's very rare. So, but I think for them to win right now, I think you got to let Dorsey do it with Sean and the newer system. And Kevin's a great CEO. He even looks like a CEO. He showed you last year how he can manage a team and keep them together through all the adversity.
That's statistically better than anybody.
And I know we talked about Mike Vrabel coming in the building, what that could mean. We gave some hypotheticals like everybody else, but the fact that he's open to that. Again, there's a lot of coaches that would say, hell no. They're too prideful. Especially these younger guys.
Yeah, Kevin's the guy that hired him. I said the day of, and he only talked about it. He's like, yeah, when I talked to Vrabes in the interview and I brought him in and, I was the first person that called him and he was like, I told you.
Well, I'll be honest with you. And Schnooks and I agreed with this too. If Kevin didn't hire him, I think Kevin would have left by now.
Yeah, exactly.
I think Kevin would have resigned within the last month. But the fact that he hasn't done that and the fact that it sounds like the extension's done and he's agreeing to it, that tells me that, okay, maybe he did, which is smart. I love it. I love guys that want to bring in
the smartest people,
minds. But the best coaches in sports do that. They've always done that. And eventually those guys leave. He's going to learn a lot. Ryan Day just brought in Chip Kelly. Does that mean Chip Kelly's going to take Ryan's job? No, hell no. But it's smart. It's smart to do that. I like it. I think smart people align themselves with smart people and learn. And I think Kevin's going to be really good. I think he's done a nice job. I think as a CEO, though, I think Ken Dorsey will do a nice job with Deshaun. I think you look at what he did with Cam Newton.
Yeah.
And then Cam Newton's MVP years. I think that's going to really do well here. And they got more talent now. So, but they got a chance, Mike, to add some more talent. And so I know we're a little longer, Dave. We've been rambling, but that's okay.
We like rambling.
We like rambles. Shout out to Uncle Cab and Deshaun for that interview too. Great. And have you been the Lefty's cheesesteak? We gotta go check that out.
Yeah, I'm going. I'm definitely gonna go. I love myself a good cheesesteak. It's in Cleveland Heights, so not terribly too far. So shout out Lefty's cheesesteak. If you are in the Cleveland area.
They've been busy as hell too. I saw some
I'm sure.
They've been
apparently they got one with hot Cheetos on it. I heard that and I was like, you know what? That's right up my alley. That sounds like artery clogging goodness right there.
Well, I heard G. Bush was there, our boy G. Bush, and Earl the Pearl. Shout out to Earl.
Yeah.
We love both of you guys. You guys are great. But yeah, they were both there that day at the opening. It was like a 4-hour opening, they said. And they broke it down because G. Bush, they got some other food too that's pretty good. Like it's not just cheesesteaks. Like they got some other food that's really good, but the service was great. Really nice restaurant. Deshaun was there that day interacting with all the fans. It was really cool to see all the fans. Of course, Cleveland fans show out for a cheesesteak event because it's their guy.
It's QB1. QB1's there. Right?
And by the way, I think Earl or Garrett, I think Garrett pointed this out, or both of them. There was a lot of fans that day that told those guys, we're here because we like Deshaun. And I said this on the show last week, Mike. All these national people that are always trying to say Cleveland people don't like Deshaun. That's a lie. We're backing the dude. Cleveland fans are supporting Deshaun. We're hoping he works out, and we're riding with him. So, take that. So I don't. Go write that in your columns. Have these people. I don't like some of these national columns. There's some good ones out there, but some when you read them, you're just kind of like,
what are you gonna do, right?
Are you watching the team? Are you? I don't get it.
People are still on that
lazy journalism out there. So-called journalism nowadays.
People are still on that. The Browns suck because they're the Browns thing. And it's like, the Browns haven't been that in like 6 years, dude. Like the Browns have been like competitive for 6+ years.
I agree.
But
they're better they're better when you and I used to watch.
Oh, hell yeah. So
But,
you want to
all right,
start
man.
with doing like all teams, and then we'll do the Browns. Just all teams first round, and then we'll do the
Yeah, we'll
Browns.
do that. We'll do all teams first round. So this is our mock draft. We're going to do all teams in the first round, and we'll just go back and forth. So, Mike, I'll let you take the first pick with Chicago.
All right, real quick before we even do that, I think this is going to happen. So we're going to propose.
Oh, my bad. I forgot to click on all teams. Go ahead, Mike.
So I think you can. There's a slider for all.
Oh, there we go. Yeah, I'm going to sit there and click all day.
So enter the draft, and then before we start it, propose trade, because this is going to
trading number one pick.
No, not the number one pick. Propose trade.
Okay.
We're gonna do. Oh wait, no, but it does Chicago, doesn't it? So yeah, we'll wait until 4. So
or should we just keep it as is and we'll make the picks for the teams?
No, because there is going to be a trade that I know for a fact because I'm psychic. So number 1, Caleb Williams.
Right.
It's he's met with Chicago. He's been at like Chicago's pro days. He's met with the owner. He's met with the GM. It's done. Like they might as well skip. They might as well skip that 20-minute countdown or whatever the hell they have and just go on to the second pick. We know it's going to be Caleb.
I do think it's Caleb, but I do think there has been a rumor that I don't think it's crazy that they do like Jaden Daniels a lot, and they're trying to get Washington to bite on number 1, which would make sense because, like I said, I think Caleb Washington actually that's more his people there, but
it's going to be Caleb. Number 2, Jaden Daniels.
Oh, I got this one. We'll go back and forth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Jaden Daniels.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Drake May.
Yeah, I agree.
And now 4. This is where it gets interesting. Proposed trade.
Well, I got to approve this because I'm the Cardinals right now.
All right, Minnesota.
Minnesota? Okay.
Minnesota.
Where the fuck are they? Oh, Minnesota. All right.
So 4 for 11, 23,
ooh,
and next year's first. For Minnesota, yeah. And that's going to happen because Arizona's already put it out there that they're willing to trade the 4th pick for 3 first-round picks. The whole point of Minnesota getting another first-round pick this year was because they wanted to trade up higher to get their quarterback.
Arizona does that. They gotta. You know what? Yeah, I'll go with it. Screw it. It's been rejected.
Been rejected.
It's been rejected. Yep. Got rejected, Mike.
Is there a forced trade button on this? Because they already said they'd do it.
So they're trading with Minnesota.
All right, let's just do 11 and 23. Let's see if that.
Well, I want my 23rd pick.
Yeah, I know. That's what I said. 4 and 11 and 23.
We'll throw in one of the little sweeteners on the bottom. Let me see here. Oh, yeah, you said 11 and 23. That's right. Yeah, so we'll throw in a couple of these. And
then take away the Minnesota first. Because I don't know who's rejecting what.
Rejected. All right, you know what? Screw it. We'll just keep it.
All right. Well, if they do pick here, it's going to be Marv. But what I think is going to happen, just for a side note, since we couldn't get the stupid thing to do it, is Minnesota, I think, is going to trade up to 4 and pick their quarterback, who I think is going to be J.J. McCarthy.
Well, can I throw in something right here about the Chargers? Would the Chargers trade Herbert to the Giants and get a ton of assets and take McCarthy at 6?
I think that would be the dumbest thing ever. But
just saying, I wouldn't blow my mind. I don't think it's not a question.
I think it would be dumb. I think Justin Herbert is 20 times the player than J.J. McCarthy. I think J.J. McCarthy is like Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold.
Would I do it? No, because I like J.J. I think J.J. would be pretty good. Would I do it if I were the Chargers? No. I mean, I get Harbaugh's his boy, but you already have a proven elite quarterback in Herbert. Keep him. So
yeah.
But would it? Could I think it's out of question? No, I think it's something they probably have considered.
But we're at 5 right now, or are we?
Yeah, you got the Chargers at 5.
Malik Neighbors. I mean, he's got to throw to somebody.
Well, I got the Giants 6.
And it's gonna be
what does Daniel's contract look like? He got one more year left.
Oh, I know they signed him to 4-year, $40 million. I mean, he's being paid a lot, but like they're not happy with Daniel Jones. They made that clear.
Oh, yeah, but how can they get out of that contract though? That's the problem.
I mean, it's easier to get out of a QB contract when your starting quarterback is a rookie, so they might just eat it. That's what I would do if I'm the Giants. I mean, Evan Neal also hasn't worked out. Maybe they can get the best tackle in the draft here.
I don't think they can get out of it. I'm gonna go Joe Alt. I just don't think they can get out of it. I would take McCarthy, but I don't think they can get out of that contract. They kind of shot themselves.
Fash now.
With a water gun. Well, go ahead.
Yeah.
Fashion now?
Yeah, it's going to be fast now.
Oh, that's right. What? They got Levis. I forgot.
Yeah, I was about to say they got Will Levis.
If Atlanta didn't sign him to a 4-year deal, I would take McCarthy right here. But since they got Kirk Cousins in their contract,
I'm going to say Dallas Turner. They need defense really bad. They could get the best edge prospect in the draft. And they already have an elite. They already got good players everywhere else. So
now back to the Bears.
Ooh, now this is a hard one, right? Because like they could go a couple different ways. They've talked about going defense. They've talked about going offense, and they'd go another receiver. They've already said that. But you got Odunze here. You got Bowers. Ooh,
I think you go. I would go Bowers personally. Get him as if Caleb Williams is the guy you think he is, and Brock Bowers is the prospect people think he is. Then Mahomes Kelsey type thing here.
I agree with you, but in the same token, I'm just going off of what the Bears have said. They have 3 camps. This is how Ryan Poles is doing it. They have 3 camps. They have 3 dudes or 3 camps of like front office members to figure out what to do with pick 9. There's defensive tackle, there's edge rusher, and wide receiver. They're not even considering tight end.
I don't know. He's a little different.
If I'm based off of the information I have and based off of the board that we have, I'm going to say they would pick Rome Odunze.
All right. Well, this is easy for me then.
Brock Bowers.
Aaron Rodgers. Brock Bowers. Go ahead.
And it works out for Minnesota. They still get J.J. McCarthy. This is J.J. McCarthy. Here you go. Congratulations. You're a Viking.
All right. Now this is up.
Fucking Broncos.
They think I'm gonna make this one here. I'm gonna go with
what's the rebuilding team? Yeah.
Get an edge. They need an edge because they got Patrick Surtain still. Take a lap too.
Yeah, why not?
The Oakland Raiders.
Las Vegas Raiders.
Damn it.
I still do it all the time.
Yeah.
They need corner help pretty bad. Their edge room's great. You know, they I think they're still trying to figure out quarterback, but they'll probably figure that out down the road. I'm going to say they take Terrion Arnold.
Yeah, I agree. Let's see here. The New Orleans Saints. They need offensive line help bad. I'm going to take this kid right here, Talise Fuego, whatever his name is. Fuaga. I'm going to take him.
All right. Now this is interesting because I am not the biggest Jared Verse guy in the world, and the Colts have kind of made it clear that they've really kind of beefed up the interior. You know, they got Grover Stewart, they got DeForest Buckner still, so they got the interior pass rush locked down. I think they
need a corner.
They do need a corner, but they need offensive line real bad.
Yeah, but
and like you got to protect your franchise guy in Anthony. I'm gonna say it's gonna be a Fatno from Washington. I really think this is kind of gonna be the tackle run a little bit. So I'm gonna say Troy Fatno because like they really do need some offensive line help. They got to protect Anthony Richardson.
All right. Well, I'm the Seahawks here making this pick. I'm gonna go. This is tough. They need a D tackle. They're built off of their defense, especially the interior. Now they got a new coach, Mike McDonald, but I think because they got Mike McDonald as their new head coach, defensive-minded guy, I'm going Johnny Newton.
Ooh, he's in here as Johnny, not Jerjon.
Yeah, they got him as Jair Newton. I'm going with Jair Newton. I think they go interior. If you get a 3-tech like that, I think you got to take him. Especially Seattle. It's always been their bread and butter. The defense starts up front. You got to take him.
All right,
I know they need a lineman help, but they got some younger guys still. I think it'll be okay. You can get one in the second round.
Yeah. So. For me, this is pretty easy if I'm the Jags. Quarterback, corner is something they haven't figured out, and Quinyon Mitchell, in my opinion, is the best corner in the draft. But Terrion out of Alabama is just a higher rated prospect because of the school he went to, but Quinyon Mitchell is the best raw corner in the draft, in my opinion. And I think they would be very happy with that pick.
All right. Well, I'm up next. The Bengals. Brian Thomas is tempting because I do think T. Higgins is getting traded eventually.
Do they go receiver though?
But here's where I'm going. Nothing matters if Joe Burrow's not healthy.
Exactly.
He's your only shot to be making the playoffs. Joe Burrow is the Bengals organization. Especially the contract they gave him. I'm going Mims out of Georgia. I like him a lot. I'm going Amarius Mims. You got to keep Joe Burrow upright.
Yep. All right. So here we are at 19. Byron Murphy, best defensive tackle in the draft. You just lost the best one ever. I mean, he's not going to be Aaron Donald, but he's still a first-round talent.
Well, I'm the Pittsburgh Steelers here. I just paid Russell Wilson money for a year. Oh, you're not paying him money. You got Russell for a year though, but I just traded for Justin Fields. What I meant to say. I need another tackle here. Their low line's always been their weakest part to me in the last 5-10 years, whatever. What'd you say? 5-7 years? I would say it's been their O-line been kind of okay, especially since Pouncey retired at center. I'm gonna go J.C. Latham.
Smart. 21 Dolphins. I'm gonna go. If I'm the Dolphins, I'm gonna go Nate Wiggins. You just lost Xavier Howard. You need corner help pretty bad. You don't know what Jalen Ramsey's gonna give you at any given time. So.
All right. I'm the Philadelphia Eagles. This is tough because then the Eagles just lose. Who they just lose?
Hassan Reddick.
Yeah, I know they need secondary help. Cooper DeJean's tempting. But their bread and butter is that front line. I'm gonna go.
Burgers.
I'm going with Chop Robinson.
Chop, I do like Chop.
I like Chop. He's from Penn State. Makes sense.
I'm going Jared Verse now. This is like the proper time to draft him. And they lost Daniil Hunter. I think they already got their quarterback. You get a pretty good edge prospect.
Yeah. Cowboys.
Brian Thomas Jr., congratulations. You're a Dallas Cowboy.
I don't know. I feel like they need other needs. Their O-line really needs some help. They need a center.
They need a center or a guard. And if you're looking at that, in my opinion, that cat out of Oregon, he can be both.
Yeah.
Jackson Powers Johnson's a dog, dude. I freaking love him.
Green Bay.
Ooh. Man, this is rough. Woo. Damn.
Kool-Aid down there, too.
I don't know why they have Cooper DeJean in here as a safety. He's a corner.
He would be nice, too.
I'm going to say Cooper because they lost Rasul Douglas. And, outside of Jair, they really don't have anybody back there. So,
all right. Well, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. What's their tackle position looking like, Mike?
I mean, I think their offensive line is pretty sturdy. Their defense definitely needs some more help. But the real question is,
that's what I'm asking because you just paid this guy $100 million and he needs O-line help. So. I don't know. I guess I'll probably go Kool-Aid.
Kool-Aid's there, yeah.
I'll go Kool-Aid because they need a corner. I'll go Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Ooh, this is a hard one. 27. I mean, Graham Barton probably, right? I mean, he's the. Or they. I don't know if they'd go back-to-back receivers. Or Tyler Guyton. He's available.
I don't know. Did they need a tackle?
Paris Johnson is their right tackle. Their left tackle, I think. I think their left tackle left. It might actually,
All right.
or you know what? No, go Graham Barton because I know they need center guard. So like, I'd go
He is
that.
center though. Well, he's 6'5". You can put him at the guard position. All right. Buffalo, Brian Thomas
Brian Thomas
Jr.
Jr.
Easy.
Yeah.
Next.
Easy.
Easy. Well, ain't no corner in sight.
Oh, there is not.
TJ Tampa.
I mean, do you go Michael Penix because and have him
Well,
sit
you
behind, or no? You got Hendon Hooker.
Yeah, you took Hendon Hooker. I wouldn't take him here.
I mean, they still need an edge rusher opposite of.
Well, they need a tackle. They need a guard. They need their tackle left.
Oh, really? Okay, then Guyton.
Yeah, Guyton.
That guy
I
from.
believe it's Guyton. Yeah, they need was it their guard that left or was it a tackle? I think it was a right guard that left.
I can't remember.
I can't remember either. Shit.
Edge. Wait. Let's just go off of their needs. What does it say? Edge, CB, DT, offensive guard, and wide receiver.
I think they reach here, which is okay.
Tyler Newman's the best safety, pure safety.
Tampa or Haynes? I think they go Haynes. I would say Haynes or TJ Tampa. I might go TJ Tampa.
Christian Haynes is.
They need a cornerback.
Pure guard though.
Yeah, but they need a corner bad.
But it is Detroit. They picked Jack Campbell in the first round. I'd say they go Christian Haynes.
All right, we'll go Christian Haynes. The Baltimore Ravens. Keon Coleman.
No, they're not that smart. They're gonna go Adonai Mitchell. They're gonna buy into the
over Keon.
Yeah,
I would.
They'll go Adonai Mitchell because they already have kind of the smaller separation guy.
The San Francisco 49ers. They need offensive tackle, and Guyton's still there. Guyton.
Yeah. Yep.
All right. And the Kansas City Chiefs.
Xavier Worthy. Not even hard.
Yeah, I don't know. Keon Coleman is tempting.
You're pairing it. Oof. Right. Xavier Worthy on the Chiefs. So
that's our first round right there. Let me zoom out.
It hurts my chest.
So
pray to God this doesn't happen.
Yeah. I think the pick that really stands out to me here is, you see, what's one pick that stands out to you? I think I'd probably go.
For me, it would be the Jags possibly fixing their defense. Quinyon Mitchell is like one of my favorite prospects. Like I watched his Senior Bowl tape, and the dude is he's crazy. Like he's probably my favorite prospect in the whole draft, if I'm being honest. I love his game.
I would say Buffalo getting Brian Thomas there at 28 would be huge. I think that would.
I think that actually might happen too, because there are so many other teams with more passing needs. Yeah, I think that might actually happen.
All right, Mike. We'll go rapid fire on this. We'll do the Browns real quick. 7 draft. Mike, I'll let you run this one rapid fire. So we're going to fast forward here and see what happens. You want me to pause and make a trade?
Nah, we'll just do it. We'll do it clean.
All right. Troy Franklin's off the board. I'm already crying.
Who we got? Ooh,
Darius Robinson, Xavier Legette. That'd be my choice.
That would be my choice too.
That's your guy too. Xavier.
We're gonna go Xavier Legette. Yeah,
I agree with that. Xavier Legette. It will be our first choice at 54. Now the next pick's all the way to 85. Let's see, 93 for a 5th. No, I'm not interested. Definitely not trading Baltimore. They can kick rocks. I would go Masson Smith here. I would go Masson. I think he's too good of a prospect, and you need a 3 after next year. You could sit him and let him develop for a year behind Shelby Harris, maybe even start. I would go Masson Smith.
But let me tempt you.
And I say that because I think there's tackles down the road in the draft I can get and develop for a year. I feel more comfortable with the tackles later in the draft than I do the D tackles.
I don't love Mason Smith. I know you do. I'm not his biggest fan, and I am a huge.
I like Rosengarten a lot, but he's not going to start right away. That's my thing. I want to.
No, but you don't need him to. And then next year, you don't have to spend your first round pick on tackle because you have Roger Rosengarten in there, and then you can possibly get one of the better first round defensive tackles next year, and then have 5 years of contractual control.
I'd rather get the first round tackle next year because Rosengarten played right tackle in college. You don't need a right tackle. He never played left.
I think he's athletic enough to play left. And I'm not the only one that thinks that. Quincy Carrier has been preaching that everywhere. Kolb, my boy Kolb, has been.
I think trained him. Matt McChesney even said, who trained him in Colorado, he needs time to develop. He's kind of a project a little bit. He's really athletic. I agree with you, but he's going to take some time. He ain't going to be. I don't think it'll be right away. I will go with Son Smith. I think Smith's his overall talent. He's just as good as any D tackle in the draft.
I know. I just don't love him.
Yeah, but he's more the guy you let sit for a year and kind of give him the rotational bit. And by next year, he'll probably be your starting 3 tech.
I'd either go Mahogany or Rosengarten, but that's me. I'd go guard or tackle here.
All right.
And Mahogany is, if you want to do a even Stevens.
Jeremiah Trotter?
I'd be okay with Jeremiah Trotter in the 3rd.
I just feel like you got to take more of a need, like a guy who can impact your team this year. You know what I mean?
Well,
I don't think Rosengarten is going to be scratched this year.
I'll tell you straight up, no rookie we're drafting this year is going to start once. Not even if we draft Xavier Legette, unless there are injuries.
Well, I don't know. That's what I'm saying. You never know. You got to be drafting for now.
Because if we're drafting for now injuries or depth, I'd draft Mahogany. I think he'd be especially with Joel having injuries last year, which doesn't really happen. You'd want a guard who's ready, you know?
Yeah. What do you think? This is tough here.
I really think they go. I'd love Rosengarten. He's like,
I like him too.
No, I would like him in the 2nd round, if I'm being honest. When I wouldn't be mad if the Browns picked him.
Right, we'll take him. I don't know. I think they go more. I like Rosengarten. Don't get me wrong. I just think they need to go more of guys who can help now.
Theo Johnson went bastards.
Yeah.
What kind of running backs we got cooking? Ray Davis. Really. I don't love him.
I think this is where you got it. We're in the 5th round now. I think you kind of.
Oh, Jaheim Bell's available. I like Jaheim Bell a lot.
I may reach and go Tommy Eichenberg. That's just me.
Tommy Eichenberg. Wait, is Javion Cohen available?
Yes, he is a guard, but I don't think we need a guard.
I know the Browns really like him. They did a top 30 visit with him. So,
I would go. Me personally, I'll go Eichenberg. I think in the 5th round, that's a steal.
Not bad. We need a linebacker. I won't argue with it.
All right, next pick is 206 and then 243. So at 206, Mike, we got Muhammad Kamara, but I would go down Holger.
Yeah.
I like him a lot. Overall tight end. I think it's a great pick. Although Muhammad Kamara is really tempting. I like him a lot, but I think Holger's going to be really a good tight end. 243, our last pick. Let's see. You got Omar Speights.
I just think they'd pick somebody who they think can maybe do special teams, so Omar Speights isn't a bad pick.
Could you go running back here? Dylan Johnson?
Why not? It's a 7th.
Or see, my 7th round pick in my mocks have been tackle. I've been going Walter Rouse. I think he should be ranked a little higher. I've been going him or Crum at tackle. I think the best player on the board here is probably Spates or Dylan Johnson. Do you think they go running back though?
I think they go running back earlier. But I don't know if they go this late.
We probably need more linebacker depth, so I'll go Spades. And so we got Xavier Legette, Roger Rosengard, Tommy Eichenberg, Dallin Holker, and Omar Spades.
I'm happy with that.
All right. So you'd be happy with that draft then?
I'd be very happy. I'd be happier if the Keon Coleman hate continues and that he drops to 50 or like even in the 40s and we trade up. That would be. I don't even care who we pick at that point. Like I'd turn off the draft. I'd be like, all right, draft's over. We won.
Screw it. All right. Well, appreciate you guys for tuning in today. Mike, got any closing words here?
Go Browns. We got 2 weeks to the draft. We play the Sox today. Go Guardians. Hopefully we beat them again because all my homies hate the White Sox. That's yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
You guys need to like, subscribe. You want to tell me you like, subscribe, share, Mike?
Like, subscribe, share because it helps us out. Leave a comment too because we want to hear what you have to say. If you're not a Browns fan, let us know what you hope your player or team drafts. Team draft football. I know football. You football. Let us know what team you're representing, who you want your team to draft, who are some of your favorite prospects, because we're only about 2 weeks away from draft day, so that's exciting. Let us know if you have any plans, all that good stuff. And yeah, we'd love to hear what you have to say, and like, subscribe, and share for more.
All right, you heard the man said. We'll see you guys in the next one. Go Browns. We're out of here.
Go Browns. Peace.